Hey guys, what is up? And welcome back to Gaming Best Top 10s, your number one source for the best top 10s in all of YouTube. You guys may have heard of Pokemon, but just in case you haven't, Pokemon is a great game where you hold little animals captive in tiny balls in order to force them to fight each other in a horrifying gamification of barbaric violence. But while some of these little pocket monsters may be cute, sometimes they get pretty scary. Golly, do we have some cool entries this time? Join us as we count down the top 10 scariest Pokemon. Number 10. Drift Loom. You may think this little guy is a cute little floating animal that will be your friend, but that's exactly how he'll get you. Drift Loom floats near children and attracts them with his cute appearance. Then he grabs them with his tentacles, where he brings them up to heaven, where all the dead Pokemon live. That's when he drops the child from thousands of feet up. By the time the child reaches terminal velocity, he has passed out from the G-force, and thus the child won't even be awake for when he collides with the pavement in a pink mist, like you have a virus in North Korea. Additionally, Drift Loom can use this technique to kidnap other Pokemon and take them to heaven as well. So be careful, friends. This Pokemon may seem innocent, but he is a really dangerous monster that should be avoided at all costs. Number 9. Drowsy. Drowsy likes to eat the dreams of children. He stands above them, drooling, thinking about the yummy breakfast of dreams that he's about to eat. And just when the child has a good dream, he sucks the dream out from their nose and replaces it with a horrifying nightmare, consisting of the child's greatest fear. What makes Drowsy so scary is that he receives no sustenance from eating dreams. He just really loves messing with children for his own enjoyment. What a psycho! If I were you, I'd sleep with my door locked, because once he's under your bed, there's no escaping his fiendish grasp, and you'll never be able to have a good dream again, unless you count being eaten alive by worms a good dream, in which case, congratulations, you should probably get yourself checked out. Additionally, Drowsy is one of the original 3 Pokemon that can be evolved into a Machamp using the trade system. And so, if you ever find yourself in the possession of a Drowsy, make sure to keep it around, because its evolution is an absolutely terrifying sight to behold. Number 8. Yamansk. Yamansk is literally the ghost of a dead child. The face on his body is the face of the child when he was alive, twisted by the sands of time, contorted into the horrifying posture that the child was in when he died. Yamansk serves no purpose. He cannot replicate, eat food, or anything. Instead, he stands on the street outside of the house of his killer. Sometimes at night, you can hear the low rumbles of his cries as he yearns for the past. To make this worse, if you capture him in a Pokeball, his soul will fuse with yours, creating a bond that transcends time and space, slowly decaying the player into a 4th-dimensional amalgamation of fleshy mass. There's also this one kid in my school who can see him, and she says that Yamansk is the most pitiful creature she's ever seen. And I've seen her try to talk to him, but he just stands there and cries. There's also a theory that Yamansk is a reincarnation of the child, seeking revenge on his killer, in which case, capturing him would only result in the cycle continuing, and then again, who knows what would happen if the two fused together. Basically, don't catch Yamansk. Number 7. Hypno. Hypno has the ability to hypnotize anyone at any time, but he prefers to target children who have strayed too far from their parents at the supermarket. Once he has you hypnotized, he can actually teleport back to his lair, where he keeps children hostage to serve his bidding. No one who has ever gone back to his lair has ever returned, but there are rumors that it's emblematic of post-capitalist exploitation. For example, on one terribly dark day, a young girl wandered away from her mother while they were shopping at the supermarket. She saw something shiny in the distance, and before she knew it, she was being pulled into Hypno's lair. Once there, he forced her to become his personal brand ambassador on Twitter and act like an over-enthusiastic millennial for the rest of the time. The poor girl has no choice but to oblige and serve Hypno until she dies or someone finds a way to free her. Unfortunately, this scenario could happen to anyone, but it's especially worrisome for parents with young children. So be sure to keep an eye on your kids when you're out and about, especially at the supermarket. And if they wander off, be sure to search for them immediately and avoid leaving them with anyone who seems a little too friendly. Unless you, of course, want them to end up in poor Hypno's lair. Number 6. Spoink. Spoink must continue bouncing on his tail in order for his heart to pump blood. If he stops moving for a second, then he will instantly die. Even if he trips on his shoelaces, his heart will explode. If you catch one, you are actually killing the Spoink because he can't move inside of the Pokeball. Instead, the Spoink will live in a horrifying limbo where his heart is kept in a permanent state of stasis, a hostage inside of his own body, until at last you unleash the Spoink from the ball, causing him to instantly dematerialize in a soup of Pokemon flesh as his body has been liquidated within the ball. Needless to say, don't catch one of these unless you have a fresh set of clothes nearby. Otherwise, you smell like musk and fish guts for the rest of the day until you can clean Spoink's blood off of you. In that case, you might as well just catch the darn thing and deal with the consequences. If you do catch a Spoink, be sure to keep it well fed. Its diet consists mainly of freshwater chestnuts, but Spoinks will also eat berries and other fruit, as well as newborn infants, which means, as a trainer, you will need to be careful about where you let your Spoink roam. Number 5. Parasect. Parasect is a parasite that drills into the brain of innocent crabs and excretes caustic substances that turn them into a zombie. The soulless husk that much like how the working class under capitalism is consumed in an attempt to accumulate capital and sustain itself, this enslaved laborer becomes a zombification of life itself. Needless to say, Parasect's red appearance is merely a mockery, a simulacrum, and a perversion of Marxist thought, as it flaunts its desire to consume. Also, one time at the beach, a crab grabbed onto my pinky toe, and the cut got infected, and I had to amputate the right side of my foot. So every time I see this Pokemon, it invokes deep-seated trauma inside of me, only surpassed by how I feel when I enter a Catholic church. Number 4. Haunter. Haunter is a scary ghost that enjoys licking the faces of his victim, leaving a ghostly excrement that slowly consumes its victim, and as a result, the victim begins convulsing uncontrollably until he is consumed by the haunter and becomes a slave to its every desire. There have been even reports that Haunter is based on real-life ghosts that hide in the shadows of people's homes, giving them the feeling of being watched. He could even be behind you right now, and it would already be too late. You'd feel the cold touch of his ghostly tongue, and next thing you know, you've stolen your neighbor's cat and blown up multiple oil pipelines. Number 3. Frostlass. This is a case where looks can be pretty deceiving. In reality, Frostlass likes to freeze people alive if it's cold outside and bring them back to her ice lair, where they are stuck in frozen limbo for eternity, only able to look into her cold and unfeeling gaze as she dances on the graves of children that she's frozen and consumed. Additionally, she's actually a convicted war criminal that has conscripted child soldiers for her causes in multiple Central African countries. While some might believe that these conflicts are civil wars, it's actually her never-ending conquest to free Central Africa by causing ethnic conflict in Rwanda and the Congo. She desires to create a frozen tundra that will make the continent inhospitable to life. Despite her cute and innocent appearance, Frostlass is actually a heartless killer that deserves to be imprisoned for her crimes against humanity. Additionally, she is also a master of deceit and manipulation, often convincing people that she is just a sweet little Pokemon, when in reality, she's anything but, and only wishes to see them perish. Number 2. Sandygast. Sandygast is a mount of sand that consumes children who try to make sandcastles from its body. You may have heard of Sandygast from Congressman and former presidential candidate Ted Cruz's speech, where he said, "We're going to find out if sand can glow in the dark." While most interpreted this as a manifestation of Ted Cruz's racially motivated contempt for Iran and Syria, true Pokemon fans realize he was actually talking about Sandygast, who was able to enter the Middle East and was also able to influence Middle Eastern political leaders in order to acquire massive oil deposits in an attempt to create neo-OPEC oil cartel that would lead to the collapse of Western civilization. As we say on this channel, Ted Cruz is always right. Okay guys, before we get to number 1, can we smash that like button and subscribe? And press the bell button, or Haunter will lick your spinal cord. And Drowsy, he'll give you so many nightmares. Okay, guys, it's time. Number 1, Mimikyu. Mimikyu looks like a Pikachu doll, but in reality, it's actually an agglomeration of the skeletons of dead babies. The Pikachu doll merely acts as a Trojan horse to pull you in until you reach too close and it consumes your life force, leaving only a husk of skin on the ground, acting as a reminder and warning to your friends and family. If you look at its true form, you actually instantly die of fear. As a result, Mimikyu is actually banned under international humanitarian law and is seeking refuge in Ecuador because the US does not have an extradition treaty with Ecuador. In fact, it's only a matter of time until he creates a narco government in South America, creating both biological weapon capacity as well as super addictive drugs targeted at poor black children whose fathers have been placed into maximum security federal prisons for minor drug charges. Talk about a rehabilitation. Be sure to comment your favorite Pokemon number. Be sure to tell our team what you think for a chance to be in our next video. And remember, smash that like, hit that bell, and sub to us for the best top 10s you'll never be able to believe. And if you're still watching, comment Ted Cruz is always right to show you're a true fan. And remember, when you need a top 10 list, best top 10 is your best bet. Thanks for watching.